Hey, what's up there, YouTube? How's it going? Your boy Big B's back with another one. I hope your day's going well. I hope you're having a great weekend. I hope you're getting all the relaxation and rest you need for the week. And yeah. Now, in today's video, we're gonna do something different. We're gonna go on a field trip. I'm gonna take you guys to the elementary school I went to. I'm gonna show you around. I'm gonna tell stories about things that happened when I went there. And just talk about some of the ways I feel like some of the ways it should be for elementary school and stuff like that. You know? I'm gonna talk about stuff like that. So let's get into it. Just gotta put a hoodie on, and I'll be all ready to go for sure. Alright, I got the hoodie on, and let's go do this. I figured I'd show you guys my car. Check it out. Alright guys, this car right here is a 2013 Dodge Avenger. Pretty sweet, huh? It does have a little bit of problems though. I was told it has a transmission leak. Yeah, I'm not complaining though, that's just normal car maintenance. Any car's gonna have a little trouble eventually. All cars need maintenance at some point, you know. The headlights need cleaned pretty bad. Here's the inside. Pretty neat, isn't it? Yeah. And I got a radar detector right here. This thing comes in clutch for sure. And it also makes that clicking noise all the time when I turn on the air conditioning. I forget what it's called. And some of you probably have a car that does this also. But I hear it's a pretty expensive repair. So I've just been dealing with it. I don't feel like spending money to get it repaired. But once I'm rich, I'll definitely get it fixed. And one other thing I thought I'd talk about is, by the time I end up making a lot of money, let's say I get to a point where I make like $250,000 a month, I'd buy a bunch of really nice cars. I'd buy a Rolls Royce, Ferrari, Lamborghini, Porsche 911. You know, cars like that. That would be pretty awesome, huh? American dream, baby. Alright, let's get to my elementary school now. Alright guys, I'm actually pretty nervous to do this. It's definitely a step out of my comfort zone, but one thing I've learned is stepping out of your comfort zone is how you grow. That's definitely one way to grow. Hopefully I'm the only one here though. But if there's people here, I'll be stepping out of my comfort zone even more, you know? Alright guys, here we are. Actually, I know one thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna grab my selfie stick real quick. Alright, here we are. I remember my first day ever coming to this school. I was told to line up at this kite right here. I remember that day like how do I say it? I remember that day like, I can't think of the word. I can't think of it, but you know what I mean. And I remember I felt really weird. It felt really weird on my first day of school. So many memories here. You know what happened this one time? One time I was on this playground. I was running all over the place, and I think it was this pole right here. I ran into it. My whole body ran into it. I fell to the ground. And I remember I was freaking out, hurt so bad. And one of the teachers was watching through the window of her classroom. And she came out and helped me. I remember that day. And I remember playing tag with my classmates on this playground. It was pretty cool. And there used to be like a climbing wall right here. It was like gray and the handles were blue. and there's like an arch in it. It used to be right here, somewhere around here, but they got rid of it. I don't know why, but I'm guessing it's cause a lot of kids would hide behind there to do stuff they're not supposed to do, and they got rid of it so the teacher watching the kids during recess would see what they're doing. Now let's tell some stories about when I went to this school. The first one was in kindergarten. I remember learning how to spell certain words in kindergarten. The teacher called them go words. Some examples are like can, and, go, are, or, you know, stuff like that. I'm shaky. There we go. And I remember some of those words. They were spelled a certain way, but I thought they should have been spelled differently. Like an example, the word can. I didn't like that it was spelled with an A. I thought it should be spelled with an E. So I'd go like, can, C-E-N. I'd argue with that teacher all the time about how I thought words were supposed to be spelled. That was crazy. Alright, second story. When I was in second grade, I remember at the beginning of the day when class started and we were waiting outside, the teacher would always give all the students a hug, at least if they wanted one. And I remember when I first started going into second grade, I was shy. I had no interest giving the teacher a hug. But then slowly, I just started giving her hugs. And I don't know why, but I started to have a crush on this teacher. I really don't know why. I'm guessing at the time she was in her late 50s. So I don't know why I had a crush on her. It could have been because she was sweet to me at first. She really was sweet to me at first, but things went downhill. I got hold with both my hands. I'm so shaky. Yeah, things just started going downhill since then. That looks weird. I'm not sure what to do. But yeah, my mom told me she's even seen this teacher do some messed up stuff. She said that one time there were kids being really loud out by her door, and the teacher started screaming at them at the top of her lungs. That's pretty screwed up, huh? And there's some other stuff I've heard about this teacher. I've heard she's been through traumatizing things in her life. I heard she had a lot of messed up things happen to her in her life. And what I expect from her is to be the person she needed when she was hurting, not the person who hurt her. I expect her to take an overview on how she felt with the people who did that to her, and treat everyone how she'd want those people to treat her. That's what I expect from her, but I guess the trauma she's been through just made her even more crazy. I thought I'd tell you some funny stories about when I was in second grade. I remember when I was writing a worksheet, I'd make a lot of mistakes on my paper where I'd have to erase them and rewrite them. And at some point I got sick of doing that all the time. And I'd get really angry. Like about every 30 seconds or a minute during class, you'd hear me go like this. Then I'd pound on the table. I'd get really angry. And one time in high school, one of my friends was telling me to reenact it. And another thing I did in second grade is I'd yell at this guy called the Green Boy. I'd always go like, "It was the Green Boy." One of my friends told me about that too. Honestly, I was crazy. I was crazy in second grade. For some odd reason though, when I was in elementary school, I had a crush on a lot of my teachers. I don't know why. Well, some of them actually were cute, but most of them, they weren't all that cute, but they weren't ugly either. And here's another funny story. One time when I was in 2nd grade, I was eating lunch in the cafeteria, and I was wearing this Dickies shirt. I was wearing a Dickies shirt. And one of the guys I was sitting with, he told me, "Brandon, say dick." And I just kept saying that word. Then some kid snitched on me, and the teacher watching the kids in the lunchroom, she told me, "Brandon, go to the office." And I was confused. I was like, what? I didn't do anything this time. So I went to the principal's office, and the principal asked me, "Brandon, what are you here for? Why'd you get sent here?" And, well, honestly, I've always been a pretty smart kid. I didn't know why, but I guessed it was because I said the word dick. I was guessing that's why I ended up in the principal's office, because I said dick. Just because I noticed that I've never done that before, and the one time I say it, I get sent to the office. Then she told me, she scolded me. She was like, "Brandon, that's a naughty word. That's inappropriate," something like that. Then she asked me, "Do you know what that word means?" And I was like, "No." And she said, "It's a male private part. It means your penis." Well, here's a better way to say it. She said it means penis. Then she asked me, "Why were you saying that?" And I said, "'Cause this kid told me to." Then she told me, "Well, if he ever tells you to say something you're not familiar with, don't say it. Just tell him no." And that's about it. Now let's talk about 5th grade. 5th grade was the best year ever when I was in elementary school. My years of being in elementary school, 5th grade was the best year I ever had. I had a lot of friends. It was fun. We always did fun activities. I got along with the teachers pretty well. It was just awesome. I had so much fun in 5th grade. And one other thing I'd talk about is one time in 5th grade, well, around the end of the year, we ended up going on a camping trip. We ended up going to this, I'm not sure what it's called, but it's like a place with fun activities. There's like a big fire pit there. Dorms. We went there to camp, and it was one of the funnest times ever in my life. Being around all my classmates, just having fun and hanging out, and the teachers. It was one of the best things ever. So at some point when I found out what camping's all about, I got really excited. I was looking forward to it so much. But the problem was my behavior wasn't very good in 5th grade, you know. I was an autistic kid with mental troubles. So there was a policy that one of my parents or guardians had to go with me, and I couldn't go by myself. And this one guardian, he was planning on taking me. I'm not gonna say who it is for privacy reasons, but he was like, "Oh, I'll take him." But one time him and I had an altercation. I started behaving really bad. I did some things I shouldn't have. I lost my temper. He started screaming at me, I lost my cool. I just started raging and doing stuff I shouldn't do. Then he told me, I remember him telling me, "You effed up. I'm not taking you anymore." Then once I found out that I'm not going, how do I say it? I was devastated. I was so devastated. I remember at the time it's been like a year since I've cried. That day I cried. I was so devastated. I've never felt so low before in my life. Now at some point I was at my dad's house, And my dad was like, hey, let's make a deal. Either I'll take you camping and you have to do yard work for 2 weeks when you're back, or you stay home and no yard work. And in a heartbeat, I chose to do camping and yard work. And that was awesome that I chose that, because camping was one of the best things I've ever done. And one other thing I know for sure is that was God watching out for me. That was God protecting me. Like, I think God let the one guardian not taking me anymore teach me a lesson. But then he made sure that I still was able to go, so that I don't end up doing a bunch of things I shouldn't do. I have a feeling if I never went camping and my dad never made that deal with me, I know that by the time school started up again, my anger issues would be through the roof. My outbursts, meltdowns, or whatever, they'd be through the roof. I'd probably do a bunch of other things I shouldn't do either. Like maybe drugs, alcohol, to like try and take my pain away. And yeah. And I thought I'd share this swing set with you. I have so many memories on there. I've done so many fun things on there before. I remember I'd always jump off the swing and like swing really high. Recess was so fun on those swings. And here's the last thing I thought I'd talk about in this video. Now I'll wrap up this tour of my elementary school. So one thing I really believe is teachers, especially elementary school teachers, they need to learn about mental health before they become a teacher. They need to start learning about kids with disabilities, like how their brain works, how they feel or whatever. And they need to learn how to handle them properly when they're in college. Because a lot of these kids with disabilities, when they're in elementary school and their teachers treat them wrong, it can scar them for life. Like, the teacher might be angry and say hurtful things or do hurtful things out of anger, and that can scar the kid for life. So they need to learn about this stuff before they become a teacher, and they need to treat kids with disabilities well. My mom was telling me that all throughout preschool and elementary school, she was, how do I say it? She was scolding all my teachers for things they did to me. And if you're a teacher, especially an elementary school teacher, I have a message for you. Don't ever say or do hurtful things out of anger. Your anger will pass eventually, but your hurtful words and actions can scar someone for life. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think that'll wrap it up. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like. Please subscribe if you're new, if you like this content. And remember, if you have any questions for me, ask me in the comments. I'll do my best answering them in a video. Alright, have a good one. Later.